Yes, that is. What is Mercury? Hello? What is the nearest planet to the sun? What do we call it?
المشتري.
No. Jupiter will be al-Mushtari. But Mercury, the nearest planet to the sun. It's very hot here because it's the nearest planet to the sun. So, you don't know? Start with the letter. Yes, very good, Lama. عطارد. So Mercury means عطارد, and then we have Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. We have one planet left. I need someone to read the note. Just read it. Just read the note. Who can read the note? Come on, Thalis, what's wrong? Yes, I'm waiting. Who can read the note? Come on, Thalis, quickly.
Our solar system used to be described as a group of 9 planets, but scientists now consider Plato to be
Dwarf.
what's this word?
Dwarf.
Dwarf planet.
Thank you so much, Rauda. Thank you, honey. So we used to have, if you remember, in the planets, we used to have only 9 planets. Now we have what? Only 8 planets. Why? Because the planet Pluto, scientists now consider it as a dwarf planet. Dwarf planet يعني a planet that is very small and tiny, that it cannot be seen. It's very little. So they call it what? A dwarf planet. Okay? So here we have on the geographical features from the Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They have things as what? Rings in the geographical features, or icy rings. Do you know what are those? Rings or icy rings? Do you have any idea what are those? Okay, let me show you this picture. The ring that they mean, it's the thing that is around the planet. طبعا we don't have ring around the Earth. Yes, but in Jupiter and Uranus, they have those rings. The ring is what? Is not something actually that big. No, but it's just little what? Dust and ice and things that what? When they come together, they form a ring around the planet. Okay, save this later. We're going to answer some questions about this chart. The last thing that we have is that the irregular comparative and superlative adjectives. We know the regular forms, which are sometimes I add er to the adjective, or I add more if it was long. Okay, in the superlative form, I add est, or I add the most or the least. Okay, this is what regular, normal. But irregular forms are those. Only those I need you to what? To pay attention to whenever we have an exam, whether it's in the final exam or in any exam. The first one is the adjective well, which means healthy. Okay, the comparative form is better, and the superlative form is the best. Then we have far, which means distance. The comparative form is farther or further. And the superlative form is the farthest or the furthest. Then we have old, which means someone who's old in his age. And then we have older in the comparative form, or elder. Or in the superlative, we have the oldest or the eldest. Do you know the difference between old people and elderly people? There is a slight difference between them. Do you have any idea? Have you ever heard about this information? It's an additional information. But do you know the difference between old people and elderly people? Hmm? No? You've never heard about this? There is a slight difference between them. They say that in medicine, doctors, they consider old people to be people are more than 65 years old. So they will consider them as old people, okay? But elderly people, they are very old people and they are what? More than 70. Their age is more than 70, so they will consider them as elderly people. Okay, so elderly is what? Very old, but old people is 65, 67, like this. Just additional information. Then we have bad, the adjective, the comparative form, worse. For example, chemistry is worse than what? Math, for example. Or chemistry is the worst, which is the superlative. Then we have good, the adjective. And good and well, they share the same comparative and superlative form. Please pay attention to that. Good and well, they have the same comparative and superlative form. So we have better as the comparative form, and we have the best as the superlative form. Clear, Thalith? Hmm?
Yeah, clear.
Thank you. What about the rest? Is everything clear?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Now in your book, okay, here in your book, we're going to do exercise C. The answers that you're going to find in exercise C are from the chart that you have here. The chart about what? About the planets. So for example, the first question in exercise C is Jupiter is by far the biggest or hottest planet. So I'm going to look here in the size, okay, and from the distance from the sun. How do you know that this planet is very hot? From the distance. If the distance was very little number you have, then yes, it is very hot. If it's no, very big like Nubitan, no. So for example, for yes, Lilas, for Jupiter, it's going to be
Biggest?
very good. It's the biggest. Can you see the size? Look at the other size of the other planets. Jupiter is what is the biggest one. So I'm going to say the biggest. Okay? So you're going to answer the rest of the questions like this, going back to the chart to find the information. I will give you 2 minutes to answer this, and then we're going to answer together. I need all of you to participate, please, especially the students who do not participate. Okay, let's start. Like we answered number 1 and we said that Jupiter is the biggest. Now number 2. And Mercury is the smallest or the coldest in our solar system. Yeah, Sarah, what do you think?
Biggest.
Yes, it is. Smallest or coldest?
Smallest.
Yes, it is the smallest. Thank you so much. In our solar system. Number 3, Mars is closer or farther from the sun than the Earth. What do you think, Ya Ilaf?
Farther.
Yes, it is farther from the sun than the Earth. Very good. Number 4, Mercury is the closest or the farthest planet to the sun. What do you think, Ya Dina?
Closest.
Yes, it is the closest planet to the sun. It's very hot there. It is so close or it is so far to the sun that if you stood on the surface, yeah, Zainab?
Close.
Yes, of course, we're still talking about Mercury, so it's so close that if you stood on the surface of the planet, the sun would appear at least 3 times larger or smaller than it does on Earth. What do you think, ya Ranim?
Larger.
Of course, it's going to be larger. Thank you. Number 7. Mercury, Venus, and Earth and Mars are all rocky planets, but Earth is the only one that is inhabitable or uninhabitable. Inhabitable meaning people could live on it, and uninhabitable meaning people cannot live on it. Yeah, Dana? Earth?
Inhabitable.
Yes, very good. Earth is the only one that is inhabitable. Number 8. Venus is only slightly or almost smaller than Earth and has many high mountains. Yes, Jumana?
Slightly.
Yes, it is only slightly smaller than the Earth. Very good. And then number 9. Venus is so close or far to the sun that the land is blank than boiling water. What do you think, Enof?
Close.
Yes, of course, it's very close to the sun that the land is hotter or colder since it's very close to the sun, ya Manar?
Hotter.
Yes, very good. It's hotter than boiling water. Number 11, Mars is a rocky or icy planet and is known as the red planet because of the red color of the surface. So it is rocky or icy. Yum. Yes, Lilas?
Rocky.
Yes, it is rocky. Very good. Number 12, Mars is almost or considerably half the size of the Earth. Half the size of the Earth. Yes, Dina?
Almost.
Yes, very good. It is almost half the size of the Earth. Thank you. Then we have number 13. The 4 planets farthest or closest away from the Sun are Jupiter or Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So they are the farthest or they are the closest. Yeah, Sarah. Mm-hmm.
Farthest.
Yes, thank you. They are the farthest from the Sun. Very good. And number 14, they are very hot or cold since they are the farthest from the sun. What do you think, Lama? Lama Daddy?
Cold.
Yes, they are very cold. They are very far from the sun, so they are very cold. And green or icy places. They are very green or icy places, Yanof.
Icy.
Thank you. Yes, they are icy places. Jupiter has the least or the most number of known moons. Look at the chart and see Jupiter. Does it have the least or the most, ya Zainab?
Most.
Yes, it has, I think, 69 or 68. The most number of known moons. Number 17, Jupiter's four largest or smallest moon were observed in 1610 by an Italian astronomer called Galileo Galilei. So, what do you think, yeah, Ilaf?
Largest.
Yes, Jupiter's largest moons. Number 18, Saturn has the least or the most spectacular ring system of all the planets. What do you think, Dana?
Most.
Yes, it has the most spectacular ring system. And number 19, most or more than 14 spacecraft. Even if you don't understand, you would know from the word than that you have to choose yeah, North.
More.
Of course, it is more than spacecraft. And the last one, number 20, Neptune is the farthest or closest from the Sun and make a complete orbit around the Sun in about 165 Earth years. Yes, Zainab?
Farthest.
Yes, it is the farthest from the Sun. Okay, by this we are done with Unit 4, alhamdulillah. So we have only 2 units left, Unit 5 and Unit 6. طيب, tomorrow inshallah ya Thalith, if you remember, when we started Unit 4, I explained to you the project of Unit 4, in which you have to do what? Storyboard. Pictures, whether you draw them or you bring pictures from the internet that talks about someone's life, or maybe you can talk about a story. You can come up with any story and draw it or use pictures from the internet. Okay, so have you finished your project? Hmm? Have you finished your project? I told you that it's a group work, or if you want to do it individually, you can do it. Hmm?
Teacher, I don't think we talked about the project.
I think yes, I started Unit 4 with the project. I'm sure that I start Unit
Teacher حق
4.
الفيلم
Yes,
نختار قصة.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I did it this project.
Did
إن
you
شاء
do
الله
it
اليوم
alone or with your
Yeah,
alone?
yeah, alone.
Okay, okay, send it to me tomorrow. Inshallah, we're going to share. What about the rest? Okay, raise your hand if you are done with the project.
teacher ما سويت أحس بدأ في project تاني another one.
I'm talking about this, Jumana. I'm talking about the storyboard. Remember when I told you it's like
no.
comic books? طيب. I will give you a chance until Sunday. Sunday, we're going to show our projects. I told you that we're going to have a class only to see our projects. Okay, so I will make it on Sunday. So you'll have some days to finish your projects. It could be a group work out of 5 or 6 students, or you can do it alone if you want. I'm going to explain the project again, ya Thalith, so please pay attention. What you have to do is that you have to do a storyboard. كيف يعني storyboard? Can you see the picture that you have here? Those pictures. Do you know the Japanese story? They call the manga when they have pictures, and also the comic books like Majallat Majid or whatever. So you're going to do something similar to that, okay? You're going to have pictures here, okay? Whether you draw them by yourself or you can have pictures from the internet. It's okay. So you will have the pictures. Let's say that I'm going to talk about King Abdullah's life, okay? So I have the pictures of the things that happens in his life until his death. And then I will write my comment here. I will write my comment and then what is happening in the picture. مثلا picture of King Abdullah while he was, for example, 5 years old, for example. And then there is a picture of him when he was king at the first time. Okay, so those are what? The action. The comment, you write your comment about your documentary. King Abdullah was whatever, whatever, whatever. Did we understand? This is if you want to talk about someone's life. You don't want to talk about someone's life, then you can draw your own story, have your story, okay, come up with any story that you would like, and just draw what happens in the picture until your story will finish. Clear? Tell me if it's not
Yes.
clear. I can explain again.
Teacher, we do it on a PowerPoint, like on the computer.
Anything that's easy on you, whether you want to do it on PowerPoint or I show you an example on how to do it on a Word document. So you can do it on anything that is easy for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. ها ثالث كل شيء واضح. What do you mean by that, Lilas? Paper?
Like make it like a paper, do it in paper rather than PowerPoint or something else.
Yes, of course. If you do it in on a Word document, it would look like a paper. So it's okay, of course. Okay, so I will wait for that on Sunday. I have to see that on Sunday. And if you have a question, ask me, please.